I know what you're probably saying. You're looking at this setup and you're like, Jasper, why is your workspace covered in brown paper? Jasper, why is your 3D printer covered in aluminum foil? Hey, I'm trying to make a YouTube video. It's called Stagecraft. I'm kidding. It's not just for the aesthetic. What we're doing today is potentially kind of messy, so I wanted to protect my printer. I wanted to protect my workspace. And so I did a little prep work ahead of time. So what we're doing today is we're using my 3D printer to not 3D print. I bought a bunch of crayons at somebody's garage sale, and I also bought a cheap pan at that same garage sale, and I thought we could use the bed of the 3D printer to melt those. And then I have these mini canvases, which I've made little masking tape handles for the backs of, so that we can dip them in the wax and then put them over here to rest. And I have 2 packages of those, 3 each. So we'll do the first 3 and see how it looks. And then if it looks good, then we'll go ahead and prep the other canvases and do those as well. This is the bucket of crayons I was talking about. You can see there's some loose wrappers in there. And you might also notice there's some wax in here in the pan. And that's because I did a test run of this, which you should be looking at footage of that right now, if the editor, me, has done their job correctly. Sort out some crayons, figure out which colors we want to use, and we'll get to dipping. I'm wanting to do oranges and reds, I think. Oranges, reds, and yellows. Maybe some beige, maybe a little bit of pink in there, just to kind of make it interesting. So we'll dig through, see what looks good, add them to the pan. This is what it looks like when the stuff is all melted. I'm still keeping the heat cranked on the printer because I want to keep this all nice and liquid. It's interesting that the peach stuff seems to have gone mostly to the outside, along with a lot of the yellow. The orange and the red seems to have stayed mostly in the middle. So at this point, I mentioned that I had done a test run of this. Like the melting part of it, I'd done a test run of that. But as far as the dipping a canvas into it, I've never done that part before. So that's going to be caught live on camera for the first time right now. I think I'm probably going to go for this section over here. I really like all the things that are happening here. Or maybe up in here. I find that pretty interesting. This section right here, where most of just the regular same color of orange stayed, there's not really a lot of visual interest happening right there. But we'll see. If I can dip into the corner and get some of that peach out, that would be pretty interesting also. But let's get set up and see what we can make happen. I have the area off over to the side of the printer here where I'm going to let things rest. But I'm going to dip the canvas in and then try to bring it up and have it facing the camera so you can see it before I set it down to rest it. Here we go. I don't know if you just lay it in like a hydro dip or if there's a specific procedure to this or... Ooh, look at that, guys. Okay, I'm gonna turn the canvas this way. I'm gonna go in for a second dip because if possible, I want to get full coverage here. Ooh, that's really interesting. we got an empty spot here right in the middle. I'm going to try dunking it again, and you can see there's some interesting things happening with our wax itself as far as like the combining and the striations there and everything. It's very interesting what we're getting, and so I'm going to go in for another dip here. Just kind of rock it back and forth a little bit, see if I can get full coverage on this canvas. And there was a drip, so good thing I set down all this paper. Okay, so the corners, the bottom corners are just not happening. So I'm gonna settle for that. I'm gonna be happy with that. I'm gonna lay that off at the side to rest. That took up a lot more of our wax than I thought it was going to, so I think I'm gonna peel some more crayons and add some content to this. So there's the drip that happened. Once that dries, maybe I'll peel that off and stick that back in here. I don't know. But I'm going to peel some more crayons and probably do another melt. This is how the second batch of wax came out. I really like the fuchsia and other pinks that I added in there. Again, I'm going to try and get in this area right here because I feel like that's where the most visual interest is. I melted a lot more crayons this time to try and get enough wax to get full coverage. It may be the amount of wax I'm using, it may be my technique, I don't know, but we'll try and get these other two canvases done and see how it all comes out. By the way, I'm sorry if I sound different. My microphone receiver died when my phone fell off of the tripod. We're going to give this a try with canvas number 2. Gonna press it in and press it down and see if I can get all the edges covered. And if I get the edges covered, then I can be pretty assured that the whole face of the thing has been covered. And there we go. We can see there's still some canvas peeking through towards the bottom there, so I'm going to try going again. And there we go. It looks like we got more or less full coverage on that one. And you got some interesting stuff happening with the wax right here. It looks like there was an unmelted bit of yellow that seems to be melting now. I'm guessing that's what's happening there. So we'll give this another try, see about canvas number 3. Okay, and these are the 3 pieces I did. That's the first one. You can see that it's got the most coverage, and it's got some really thick spots. It got most of the silver from that silver crayon. Most of the textural stuff is natural, except for there's this spot up here in the corner. I think you can see that. That may have been from a phone hitting it, or from a tripod that the phone was sitting on hitting it. I don't know, but it's all part of the piece and part of the story now. This is the second one I did. It's kind of more drippy, but I like that. I like how they vary from one to the next. It's very sort of thick in spots. It's like textural. I feel like that's probably like dried or semi-dried pieces of wax that got stuck directly to the canvas, but it's very interesting. And this over here, this is the third one that I did, and it's still got that same sort of sliding off the canvas behavior, but that has to do partly with how I handled it after I took it out of the dip. But yeah, these look pretty cool. I'm gonna melt some more crayons, and I think I'm gonna go for canvases number 4, 5, and 6. So this is what it looks like with the most recent melting completed, and I've got the other canvases prepared, and so I'm just gonna go at it kind of quick, just kind of back to back. I'm gonna go for this main area right here where the lighter colors are. I'm gonna try and dip right in there, see what we get. And unlike the other ones, I think for this one, I'm just going to let it sit for a moment and see if we get a different result from doing that. Just kind of letting it sit in there. And just like push it down a little bit. Ooh. Got it almost completely submerged there on all 4 sides. Pulling up, and that's the closest we've gotten to complete coverage yet, I think. I'm gonna say I'm happy with that. I'm gonna just set this off to the side to dry. And so in here in the corner, I don't think the camera's really picking it up too well, but in this corner over here, there's a bit of fuchsia. I'm gonna try and get that on my canvas. See what we get here. And again, I'm gonna let it sit. Let me check my temperature. Yep, temps are dropping, so I'm gonna go ahead and crank it back up. Keep this stuff nice and liquid while we're putting it on the canvas. And so I'm gonna go ahead and push down on it a bit. Okay, and then pull up. Ooh, we got half a canvas on that, so I'm gonna, I think it was drying up and solidifying as I was dunking it, so I'm gonna drop it in again as the temps are coming back up, and see if I can cover that other side of the canvas. Okay, that's almost the most complete coverage we've gotten. I'm going to try and get that corner covered too. There we go. That's some pretty complete coverage. Just setting that down to dry. Okay, and the tripod is in the way, so let me move that and we'll go for the last one. Okay, here we go. That's the last of our crayon mixture, and so I'm gonna go for right over here in the corner where the rest of the silver is, and I'm gonna try and get it. Get it as completely covered as we can get it. And there we go. We got a few drips here and there, but and a few spots definitely not covered, but I got the silver I wanted. And I'm gonna go ahead and just set that right down here to dry. And so this is the full set, guys. We've got canvas number 1, canvas number 2, canvas number 3, canvas number 4, canvas number 5, and canvas number 6. In the future, I might experiment with different ways to kind of seal these so that they stay the way they are, but I like how they're all very unique. Right here, I'm gonna say I think number 4 here might be my favorite, with the striation, with the veining and the striations. And the little bit of fuchsia that I was going for. I'd say number 1 and number 4 are probably my favorites right now, but I'm very happy with how all of these came out. Alright, so that's today's video. Thanks for watching, guys, and y'all take it easy.